All right, so let's review the first UI challenge of the bootcamp. So, question number 1, build a shopping list. We want to build a basic user interface with some title and a list of elements. So, how, classically speaking, you declare a list of elements in CSS? Sorry, in HTML. Order or an order. What's the difference between order and an order?
Ordered is numerical, unordered is bullet points.
That's right. That's almost right, Chuck. So when we declare a list of elements, we essentially do something like that. Yeah, that's an unordered list. So then you can define your list of elements, yeah, something like that. So unordered means the order doesn't really matter, ABC or CBA or BCA, doesn't matter, yeah? So how do we represent the unordered list of elements? So many times you've seen these sort of circles or disks, yeah? But according to the CSS standard, there are other types of representation. So there's a property, if I remember correctly, let me go back to Google and search CSS list style type. Yeah, you see, so CSS tricks. So yeah, is there any example? Yeah, I mean, you got different types of circles. Yeah, here you go. You see, you get, different, some of them are a bit exotic, yeah? Types of representing your list of elements. So anyway, an order. When talking about order, you do OL, yeah? So OL will essentially represent basically a list of numbers, at least on its most basic scenario, 1, 2, 3, whatever, yeah? In this particular case, do we care about the order? Is it important to bring milk before tomatoes? Probably not, right? That doesn't really matter. So we then want to declare a UL list. And I think that's pretty much it, guys, because the header already has some colors, some paddings, and whatever. So am I missing anything? Well, maybe if I type the right list, right? Tomatoes, bread, and milk. So tomatoes, bread, and milk, I believe. So let's see if this works. No. Oh, that's weird. Oh, wait a minute.
Style type.
Say again?
This style type.
No. It's nothing about that. I'm just going through my local host environment, guys. I was completely stupid what I've done here. So I wasn't testing at Codery. I was testing on my local machine. After this stupid mistake, so let me quickly close my local system and let me go back to Codery and then let me go to challenges and then let me go to, so once again, let me show question number 1, sorry about that. So let me paste it, here you go. So now, Camila, sorry, back to your question. So what is wrong here?
I thought that you have to do the list, you have to add the list style type as a disk.
That's a good point. Do we have to change the list style type? Let's figure it out. No, not really, because that's the default. That's right, Camila. That's the default. Yeah? I'm sure there is a question somewhere where we want to change the style from disks to something square, yeah, whatever. Yeah? Cool. So, I mean, quickly going through your code. That's interesting. So, new React challenge, by the way, available if you want to practice later on. Let's read your code, guys. What do you think about Anita's solution? I completely agree. So, break line strategy is a bit chaotic, you see? UL, fine, but then LI, then I think there is a space here because of a reason, don't know why. But on top of that, the next LI is almost aligned to the parent one, but then the last one is completely disconnected, then closing UL, Anita. So I hope you agree with me. If you compare with Kaini, you see, Kaini is way more readable, right? UL and then LI, all on the same virtual line. Flooring, the same. Andrea, where is Andrea? She's in from home probably today, right? Chuck, Camila, Octavian, yeah? So it's very hard to add any creativity here, yeah? It's all about the same. Any questions? No? All right, so question number 2. Let's display some boxes. Padding can be uneven on the XY axis. That is true. Yeah, we could have different gaps, top, bottom, left, right. Yeah, no problem at all. So the HTML is there, so now it's time to play with CSS. So can you give me a decent selector here? Div, all right, yeah. And then div, so what we need to do? First of all, green background. How do you change the background in CSS? Background color, green. And now, so technically speaking, you got 40 pixels on the y-axis, on the vertical axis. So can we do padding top 40 pixels and then padding bottom 40 pixels, and then can we do padding left 10 pixels and then padding right 10 pixels? Will that work?
Yeah.
Let's see if it works or not. Yes, that's correct, technically speaking. Yeah, that's fine. Is there any way to improve that?
Yes, we can use the
Shorthand.
shorthand.
All right, I'll show you a couple of shorthands, and then you tell me which one you prefer. So one shorthand is, then we can set up all the 4 values, yeah, following the clockwise direction, top, right, bottom, left. So top, 40, right, 10, bottom, 40, then left 10, yeah. That's about the same. So if I run that, I should get confetti time. Here you go. Any improvement?
Yeah, we can delete the second part.
That's right. That's right. We can simply do that, right?
Yeah, because it's the same values that you're repeating yourself in the same pattern.
If on the same axis your padding remains stable, you can do that. So that will apply 40 pixels padding on top bottom, and 10 pixels left right. Yeah? That's probably the most optimal solution to this exercise. Yeah? Still confetti. Any questions?
If you have 3 pixels, how it works?
Free.
Yeah.
So you want to change the padding on the left, for instance.
No, it's like 40, 10, and 30.
Then you need to do that, right?
You need to, so it's like 2 numbers
Or 4. Yeah.
If two values are identical, you're going to use the shorthand. If they're not, you need to write all their sides.
Yeah, and then there are different strategies, then different ways to approach the problem. For instance, if all the paddings are 10 except top, so you can, for instance, do that, right? Padding is 10. However, the top one is 20, for instance, yeah? You can also...
Defining just the different one.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that because essentially we are overwriting one property. By default, we said padding top is 10, but then immediately afterwards we said, no, in reality, padding top was 20. Not a big fan of that style, but anyway, yeah, that's absolutely valid. Any questions?
So as you asked, the shorthand can be only like it can have either 2 values or 4.
Can have 1, 2, or 4.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can have 3 if you want. You can do that, but then
It will not apply for the
for which one? It won't apply on
left.
the left. That's correct, guys. But technically speaking, yes, you can type that. Yeah? So let me check quickly what you've done here. Nita, yep, this is the shorthand. Cool. Kaini. Interesting.
Because the default is pixels, maybe?
So can anybody see any controversial aspect of Kaini's solution?
It's not defining the unit of
The
measurement.
units. It works. However,
But it's not good practice.
it's not. It's for sure is not a good practice. Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, because 40 what? 40 pixels, 40%, you know. So from a readability point of view, I may struggle to understand that. However, not sure, we can try that. Historically speaking, Google Chrome didn't support that. So if you did that on Google Chrome, it wouldn't work. We can try that. Maybe now it works because maybe they assume that by default, blah, blah, blah. So let's go somewhere, Google, let me add some padding somewhere in the Google homepage. You see, look, the image has a padding, I'm sure, somewhere. So you see, padding of 109 pixels. Who did that? Anyway, so can I remove the units? No. You see, can I? If I remove the units, Google Chrome says invalid property value. So you have to explicitly provide percent, which doesn't make sense here, or pixels. Yeah? Don't ask me why Google adds 109 pixels to the padding tag of their logo. Yeah, that goes beyond my understanding. Anyway, yes. So Florin using the long version, still okay, of course. Andrea using the shorthand, same as Chuck, same as Camila. Long version for Octavian and long version for Jiyun. Cool, easy peasy, guys. Any questions? So let's go to number 3. Borders, mobile and tablet. Pretty much the same, to be honest. So what we got here, just a basic message with a red border surrounding it. Cool, borders everywhere. So can I do that? Why not?
That's not a selector in the CSS.
Correct. I mean, I can do that, and then I can change it here. That's controversial. Let's leave it. Actually, that was a better example than I thought. All right, so borders everywhere. Borders everywhere! Exclamation mark. Will this work? What? The color, correct. I think it's red color. Will this work? Yes? Are you sure? Are you 100% sure?
Text will be smaller, I think.
Say it again?
Text might be smaller because we had a label on that.
Text may be smaller. Oh.
I think
No.
The box model will be across straight.
See, Chuck got the job again. He got like 3 jobs this morning already. Look at what happened if I run this code. That shouldn't work. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Look. So that's what we wanted. And as Chuck said, divs by default try to span as much space as possible. Yeah? However, labels only fit the space they need. Technically speaking, how do we display that? What's the right way of explaining that? So in other words, when you display a div, technically speaking, how does it get displayed?
As a block.
As a block, that's correct, Anita. And when we display a label, how do we display it? What's inline, that's the word. Yeah? Inline versus block. Inline means, yes, the smaller the better. Block means German in World War II, right? All right, cool. After this unfortunate comparison, let's rename the div with a label. Label, and then label here, right? Something like that. See if it works. Confetti or not confetti? Yes, confetti time. Yeah? That was fairly simple. Remember, border, this is a shorthand of free properties. So in reality, we could write border width, 1 pixels, border, what's that? Style, correct, Kaini? Border style, solid, and border color, correct. So I hope we get some confetti if we run that. Here you go, we got some confetti. Any questions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the border
Hmm.
property, the value order doesn't matter, does it?
That's a good question.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if it doesn't matter, to me that's a bit weird, right? Because what if can I have a color called solid or a style called red? Probably CSS is smart enough to deal with that. Yeah, you're right, guys. The order, but does it mean, can I move the width also to the right? Is that smart? Yeah, it works. Fair enough. Yeah. I'm not against that. Cool. Interesting, guys. Didn't know that. So question number 3, what you've done here, it's pretty simple, right? Everyone doing the same thing. Let me try to find any elegance issue. Oh, flooring. What is the elegance issue for flooring? 2 semicolons. You what? Yeah, well, that's why it's called an elegance issue, because it works, man. Cool. All good, guys. All good. I cannot complain much today about your code. Cool. Question number 4, I think. So 2 questions left. Oh, football is a modern business. Do you agree on that? Not a modern. So modern football is a business. Probably it is, right? Cool. So, that's interesting. So the CSS is inviting us to build the code in a particular way. Yeah? So first of all, it's telling us that the code should be surrounded by a paragraph. Oh, we got it already. Fine, fantastic. But now, look, the complex part obviously is here, right? Instead of a sport, we should strike through the text, with a line in the middle. So CSS is inviting us to surround that special token in a label with what that means, guys? A class, correct. Yeah. Cool. So then let's try to write that. Modern football is a. What's the tag here? It's a label, correct. Label, I can do it. Label and label. And then that should be something like sport and now business, something like that, I think. Modern football is modern football, yeah, something like that. All right, so anything missing here? Here, right? Class or class name? Correct, class because it's HTML, line through, right? Line through. If the line is too long, you can always do something like that. Yeah? So HTML won't add a break line. Yeah? How do you add an explicit break line in HTML? Correct, with a BR. Yeah, that will add a break line in your text. But without the break line, it will be displayed all together, which is what we really want. So that's the HTML bit. But what about the CSS? How do you add the line through on the text? Correct, text decoration. On line through, right? I think that's a property. Oh, through, something like that. So can you give me another example of text decoration? Underline, fantastic. That's the most popular example. When you got a link, sometimes you want to add an underline under the text, right? A line below the text. Sometimes you don't want to add the line, but when you hover the link, you want to display the underline. Yeah? So that depends on your styling appetite. So let's see if it works. Yes, we got some confetti on the left. So I think that's pretty much it. Any questions? No? Also, let's check your code. So, look at what Anita did. So, from an elegance point of view, I may complain about several things here. So, the most obvious one is the CSS, right, Anita? So, text decoration should be indented on the right. But also on the HTML, that's a bit confusing once again, right? So, remember, when you open a tag, it should close on the same vertical line. So you open label here, but you close it. Actually, no, that's right. So even though that's unnecessary, you don't need to add a label. At least, yeah, that's okay. However, then everything inside of the label should be moved to a new line, starting here. Yeah, that's actually the main thing. Again, that's just a subtle elegance issue because the code is okay. It satisfies the exercise. Yeah? So look at what Kaini did. Kaini. So if you guys, let me say something about Kaini solution. If you're creating a web app with Kaini, can you see any potential risk of this code?
If you're declaring multiple labels, you're gonna have all of them run through.
So Kaini is being very aggressive here.
She didn't
No, I
just-
tried with class, but it didn't work. But I found out at the end it was my typo.
Why didn't work?
Because I typed
Class
there was
name.
a typo,
Yeah.
and I didn't know.
The typo.
I tried everything and then deleted it. Yeah.
So I mean, Kaini is right, it works, but as soon as he adds another label, welcome to Codiri will be struck through. All the content will be struck through, yeah? Like she's upset with everybody, yeah? Cool, nice. What else? Flooring, yeah, so once again, I mean, the code is perfect, yeah? I just find that, you know the text is being wrapped, yeah? Because it's too long. That's why I will add some break lines, but yeah, it's good. Same for Andrea. And then same for Chuck. However, for Chuck, clearly the code should be moved to a new line, yeah? So remember, when you add a new tag, either you move the content to a new line, or if you want to leave it in one line, well, maybe it was in one line, Chuck. It was wrapped. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, cool. And then for Camila, so so she's changed the structure a bit. So she's creating a div for modern football is A, and then sport, and then business. Can anybody tell me the potential issue on Camila's solution?
Same like it display the text full length in a block since it's in div.
That's correct. Look, it works for Camila because we're using a smartphone. Yeah? She will display modern football is A and then new line. But if we were using a laptop with a bigger screen, it would look similarly. Modern football is A, new line, sport. Yeah? Because she created a div, you see? So everything after the div will be promoted to a new line. Yeah? Same with business. Business will always be displayed in a new line.
So she's gonna have 3 lines.
3 lines, correct. So Camila will always have 3 lines regardless of the size of the screen. Anything else? Yeah, of course. I mean, based on that, because it's breaking the hierarchy of tag elements, she has to redeclare properties like color and font size. Yeah, because she doesn't have, for instance, the sport label inside of any div anymore. Without these properties, color and font size, the label will probably look very small. Yeah, and maybe in a different color. Cool. For Octavian, that's interesting because that indentation is wrong if you think about it, Octavian. Yeah, because that label doesn't belong to that text. Yeah? It's just another part of the sentence. Yeah, but all good apart from that. And yeah, it's hard to talk about Giyun's because of all the text wrapping. It's one line, I believe, right? So she said everything in one line, so that's all good. Yep. Should we guys use some? It's just a very small thing. Single quotes or double?
Probably HTML is best to use double just to signal that it's HTML.
Yeah, so HTML by default uses double quotes. I mean, it works with single, but according to the standards, classic standards, we use double quotes for the HTML attributes. And actually, if you go to our friend Airbnb React style guide, they explicitly mention that. So React, yeah, quotes, here you go. So always, this is about React, yeah? Always use double quotes for JSX attributes, but single quotes for all other JavaScript, like creating a string, something like that. Why? Look, regular HTML attributes also typically use double quotes instead of single. So with JSX, we mimic this behavior. Any questions? No? Oh, question number 5 and last. Rounded borders are controversial. Can anybody explain why rounded borders are controversial? No? That's a bit of, that goes beyond the scope of CSS and even programming. Yeah? That's about the way the human brain is organized. So generally speaking, when you display a circle, because of whatever reason, that tends to keep the attention of the human, to look inside of the circle. Yeah? When you display a square, that doesn't distract the user that much. In other words, it's considered a good practice to display circles when you want to get the attention of the user about something in particular, something particularly important, like last offer, last call, last opportunity. Display a circle, the user will tend to look to the circle. However, if you bomb the user with many circles, with many rounded corners, you are asking his or her attention too many times. Yeah? And that's why they are considered controversial. If you notice, if you think about that, if you check the web design styles since the 90s, at some point rounded borders were very popular, but then they progressively started to disappear from the web. And arguably the most important actor in that scene was Microsoft with their Metro user interface. You won't find any rounded corner here. Yeah? So that's a way to simplify your layout. Yes, squares everywhere. You won't find any rounded corner at Codery neither. Yeah? But anyway, you know, that doesn't mean they're illegal. If you want, you can use them. Yeah? So rounded borders are controversial. All right, so we got the HTML, and now we need to do a couple of things. So first of all, let's display the border. Yeah? So yellow border, 15 pixels, no, and 3 pixels on each side. So how do we display a square border in CSS?
Just a normal square.
Border,
1 pixel.
1 pixel or 3? 3 pixels, solid yellow, right? So will this work?
No.
Not probably, right? Let's pay attention. You see, we're highlighting the mistakes. Our borders are straight. So we want to display rounded borders. So how do we change the style of the corner of the border?
Border radius.
Correct. Border radius. And then what? 15 pixels. That's correct. So if we try that, that works. Once again, that's a shorthand, but in reality, we may want to change the border radius of the top left corner only, for instance. And if I remember correctly, the syntax is border radius top left. I just made that up, right? But let's try that. Obviously, that won't work. No, I don't think that's right. Top? No, because no, listen. I want to change just this corner, right? Or maybe left top. I'm sure that there is a way to do that. So border radius CSS. Border radius. Border radius. Border. Top. That's what I did, right? Top. Right. No. Guys, I'm confused now. What is that? Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I can pass for values. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, yeah, I never argue that. Of course, I can do same as with the padding, right? Border radius. So I can do 15, 0, 0, 0. Can do that, right? Do I have to specify the units? You remember what we discussed about Kaini before? When talking about number 0, do I have to specify the units?
No.
Yes,
Not
no?
necessary. Not necessary.
So 0 is the only exception. You don't have to specify the units. Why? Because if the number is 0, it's 0 pixels, 0%, 0 everything. So there is no difference. There is no conflict of interests. So if I run this code, I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, of course, that works, right? I mean, it only rounds that corner. Fine. But I'm sure there is a way to just change the border top left. Border, oh, look. Top, that's what I did. I need to type radius, border top, you don't do it the way around, you see? It's not border radius top right, top left, it's border top left radius, okay? Cool, fantastic, so let's try that. So border, syntax was a bit different, right? Something like that? Yeah, cool, fantastic, fantastic. Let's see if that's right or not. So it should return the same thing. Yes, that's correct, that's correct. So definitely you can have full control on the radius of each corner on your box. So what you've done, I believe everyone has done the same thing here, right? So yeah, same thing. Anita, Kaini, Flooring, Andrea. Yeah, that was an easy one, guys. Chuck, Camila, and Octavian, and Yiyun. Why there is an empty line, Yiyun, here? Yeah, empty lines, guys, are evil. Not evil. Cool, and Daria, right? Cool. So I think that was it, guys. Any question? No, there will be no more UI beginner challenges because you know these things already. But next month we'll play a couple of UI intermediate. So please start practicing. So UI intermediate is mostly about 3 things: flex, grid, and animations. Very important topics. Yeah? Thank you very much.